We'll bring you back in a minute, Josh. And you'll have to unmute yourself. Oh, fuck. We're live. Hi, everybody.
I was wondering when you were going to notice that.
I was just waiting. I'm like,
I'm
like, I hope he's doing it intentionally.
We should put the beep.
Hey.
Welcome, everybody, to tonight's Plumes of Hazard. I am Mass Blast 09, and these are my co-hosts. Understudy 77, yes, the one, the only, the legend, Fubaka, and the Angstful Vapor, Schwanzerfarts.
Slanjava, everyone.
What's happening?
So I'm still, back. To this day, and Fu's done it dozens of times at this point, but I'm still not used to not being the one who clicks go. I just didn't even think about looking for the stupid live thing. Oh well.
I mean, it's a big old.
Mine now, bitch.
If it's any consolation, neither am I.
True.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
You'll find that quite often.
Shush.
You'll find that quite often when I show up now. Whenever somebody's supposed to queue up for something, I still click on them.
Yeah.
I do the same thing, and it's still
a Hangout show. I can't. In general, it's just.
I always try to remember just go back and click on myself.
Like all of our friends literally said that our first few episodes are like, I can't.
Yeah.
To me, the most disturbing thing is not seeing myself pop up when I start talking.
Oh, that's true.
It's weird. You just kind of have to trust who's up. Anyway, welcome to 2019, everybody. Thank you very much for being patient with us and allowing us a couple weeks off. I was thinking about this the other day. I think this is the first time we've taken 2 weeks off in a row.
Have we done a Christmas Eve show before? I don't remember.
Not a Christmas Eve.
Monday night since we started.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, but I think this is
it's been long enough. It's been long enough that we've been on the butt end of that.
Yeah, it's been long enough to where I don't think we have had a Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah, by the way, it'll be 5 years next week.
Next week's, is it 5? I was just going to say, you got to be getting close to it.
Shit, boys, that means 500,000 years of experience right here. Wow, 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't even think about that. That's nuts.
That's crazy. That's a lot of years in vaping years.
Plumes takes Chinese New Year. Nope. Not going to make that joke. Nope.
Don't do it.
Nope.
Is anything special happening for 5 years?
I ain't playing shit.
Not a joke at you, Duro. Let's make a joke at someone else.
Oh, I do need to say that a hat tip for the intro goes to Marksky. Mr. Elliott forwarded that over to me earlier this week, and I appreciate it because it was really, really good.
So He actually sent me something as well. Just for you, Angsty. Moment. Doing it up.
Yeah, he sent me that too. So he sent it over, and I was like, "What? Now Phil's copying my sweet style."
No, he's done it before.
He has done it
before.
It's true.
Those are his PJs.
They have a live show now.
I don't know.
The Smokers Show, episode number 22.
Look at
I
that.
know they have a live show now, man.
I neither did, or maybe I did. I don't remember. But
Oh, that's funny. I glanced at it. I'm like, it starts in February. Oh, it's marked, so they had the dates backwards.
Well, they do indeed have one. 22 episodes so far.
There you go.
Hey, good for Phil. It's just on his normal channel, but good for him, man.
Now,
but the sleeveless thing though, like
the sleeveless thing is a little objectionable. I mean,
is that why you're wearing the hoodie right now? You fucking turncoat. Oh, Phil got me feeling so
no, but I am sporting some color. You can't tell from my the saturation here, but this is purple. It matches kind of matches my build box RPG. Kind of, not really. It's a different purple. There we go. It's better. So did Dimitri leave the smoke-free radio? Isn't that the one that he was on forever?
Looks like he's doing the Smoker Show with Phil, at least.
Maybe he's doing both.
Just Phil and Dimitri.
I'm assuming he's doing both hands. Surely he's not off smoke-free radio.
I don't know.
He ran.
Rob says he still does it. He rants. He does rant. He's a good ranter.
I actually just pulled up a Phil video, and like his setup looks very different now.
Well, he's down in Florida now, isn't he?
Oh.
Who, Phil?
Yeah, did he move?
Oh.
Maybe I'm crazy. I thought I remember.
Did he complete the Italian dream?
Yeah,
he's got
watching him review a mech mod, a tube mech mod.
He's got I thought he had family down here.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I
just thought he'd moved down.
I mean,
he's reviewing a tube mech mod that lights up.
What's this world come to?
It's called the Foosh.
The
Called
Fukashi.
the what?
The Foosh.
The Foosh?
Fush.
All right.
Push you.
And when you press the button, it lights up a bunch of different colors.
Right on. Oh, okay. So Duro says he thinks he's in Florida short term, and Addy says he has 2 places now. There you go.
Big pimpin'. He's probably in West Palm Beach, isn't he?
Dude, I haven't talked to Phil in a long time.
It's been a minute since I talked to Phil for sure. I think the last time any of us had any interaction with him, Fu was trolling him a little bit.
yeah, that's what I do. He didn't. I don't think he. Yeah. Anyway.
If Phil ever does see this, we do love Phil.
Oh, 100%. Phil's great. Check out his show, the Smokers Show. Could be interesting.
Yep. Boo, you want to handle that? So speaking of which, I guess I showed you my shirt. You're there.
Oh yes.
Oh.
That looks fresh.
I got a Christmas.
That looks fresh. Yeah.
It's brand new, fresh. Hadn't even been washed yet. Just been sleeved.
Okay, so what were you saying? I was typing before.
Oh, I said you want to check side chat.
Is he still using record vinyl to put the print on the shirt?
It's pretty substantial for sure.
Guaranteed. His shirts are even guaranteed fresh.
That's a nice shirt.
10 years of washing afterwards.
My black one has been through many washes, and it still looks great.
Fresh. Yeah,
It does.
No, I don't have I have. So my Liberty Vapor shirt has held up pretty well. Many washes have had that. Thank you to who sent that to me. I can't remember. I have to look through that.
I wore the black shirt once, and when I took it off, it took off the hair and the stash logo from my chest.
Oh yeah.
Get him in here so he can defend himself.
Yeah, let's do it.
Drum roll, please.
Hello.
Unmute
Welcome.
yourself,
Remember, you're muted. This is God.
God.
We have God on the show today.
Hello, Josh.
Hello, everybody.
So, in case you've been living under a rock, or you just missed some of our first episodes from years ago, we had this lovely man on several times at this point, I think.
For very different reasons.
But it's been a while, and you're right, it was for very different reasons.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been, but he has been
still of the highest quality. It's true.
With our 500,000 years of experience, you'd think we would have picked up a little bit more of professionalism, but we still have watermarks on our RIP videos.
Same shit 5 years later.
No, you got to go back to the days when we used to hum the intros.
That did happen a couple of times.
Yeah, we did that a couple times.
May I suggest for anybody who hasn't seen the show from very early on, find the Bombies show.
Yeah.
Oh
That
god.
might be the worst intro of all time.
Oh, I disagree. I thought that was a great intro.
No, that was one of the better ones. But
That also may have been the first time we ever had pre-show promo art.
Yeah,
It may be. Yeah.
that's true.
So that was a landmark show for us
Well, then you went through a stint where you were making them
for every
Yes.
show.
for every show for several months in a row.
That's so time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
Until you didn't have any time for that anymore.
I had
Do you,
stuff that required me to do very little.
you look back at that time as the good old days or not so much?
It's the funny old days.
Yes.
I will say this about it. Like, it was so much time has passed in vaping, even though it's only been 5 years. Like,
It's a
vaping was a lot of fun back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
everything's fun when it's new, and then
Well, and remember too, it was more 5 years. 5 years of doing the show, but add another year and a half to 2 years before that of us hanging out.
Yeah.
You know, we used to say back then a lot, and I don't think we look back at this enough now. We all used to say it's like the Wild West right now,
That's right.
and it really was. We could do anything.
I had a fucking drill press behind the counter at the shop, man.
Yeah,
Fucking Nimbus caps. So
Me going to a pizza joint with this guy and making it rain in there because there were clouds of my shit plugged into the wall, blowing people's minds.
I will never forget going back to the original High End Mods forum and being told that people would stop selling me atomizers because I used to drill them out to 1.6 millimeter. And that was ridiculous.
Yeah, you fucking cloud chaser.
My oh my.
Like, I do have to I do look back on those days a little bit, and like there was so little drama back then and so much fun.
it was.
Yes. Yes.
No. There was drama then.
It
But
was-
it was fun to balance
It
it
was
out.
very
Anything.
different kind of drama. Then. Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't a chore then because there was like enough fun and trolling to go
Yeah.
around to
and
balance.
like vaping changed every month, right? Like though it was like the tech boom.
Yeah,
.com boom, like something massive and life changing happened. Like when people first started using cotton
yeah.
Yeah.
nets, like shit like that. Like back then, like nobody had it figured out.
Yeah.
I look back on what must have been somewhere between 4 and 6 months of my life that I spent trying to build a mesh coil properly. Torching that thing over and over again, rolling that motherfucker. Like, I look back on those days, and I mean, it was a crazy time. We figured this out.
I have,
And then-
I have mesh straws in this tank, dude.
And then they came out with the metal rope that you could put in there instead of the actual mesh.
Yeah. I bought some at the marina at the store. I had to make sure you bought the piece of light. I never used it, but I did get around to buying it.
Yeah, because you had to get
I
Cord cutters to cut this shit down.
Yeah.
Cable sleeved with Eco Wool.
Echo, well, sure. I was in all those group buys for that.
Yep.
Did
Yeah.
Josh? Did that cable come with some free fish slime on the cable?
It came
No,
right off.
it came pre-greased with marine grease.
And I know that was the thing. I remember spending like 20 minutes making sure I bought the exact right cable. That had none of the plastic on the inside. It had to be just this kind. I never ever used it, but I remember I spent so much time.
Peeling cotton.
Yeah, boiling cotton. Who could ever
boiling cotton balls from Reading?
Yep.
You know, I never fucking did that.
I did.
Really?
It was,
I did.
I had a bag of cotton balls, and I'm like sitting there, like I have a pot of water sitting on my stove, and I'm like, I just look at the cotton, I'm like, get the fuck out of here! No.
See, my problem is I tried it without, and it was so bad. So I did. I still got a Ziploc in my closet that's got boiled cotton balls that I didn't end up using because I went to Shadow, and I've got quite a long length of peaches and cream yarn.
God. Yes.
That I also boiled and put in the oven to toast to dry it back out.
I remember that shit, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm with Will. I did dodge the blue foam because I started vaping. I remember within my first month of vaping, the original Pro Tank was released.
Yeah,
man, you're lucky. Blue foam was. I just threw out the blue foam. I had it forever. I kept it for sentimental reasons because it was a fond memory. But there was before the blue foam. There were the Lipton Pyramid tea bags.
Tea bags. Yeah.
That's right. Before that, we were just ripping the bridges right out of the 901 atomizers. You know, there was crazy stuff. I was really lucky to have found vaping as early as I did, let alone to have taken to it so well. It was
so I did twice. I quit on a cig-alike, and then I went back to smoking, and then I came back into mods.
See, and I quit the one time. I had two times where I lit up a smoke, but I put it out both times and didn't really want it.
I can't say I did that.
But that was it. I never looked back, and man, I love those times of vaping. When I think about, I think about when I first discovered the subreddit. I knew nothing about Reddit. I'm an old man. I didn't know jack shit from.
You're an old man, but you're not too old. Like you still
here. Yeah, I should have. Yeah, I was young enough to know that I could, figure this out.
You grew up on the internet a little bit.
Yeah, we've talked about it here a lot though. Like I stopped, but even before I had left the show, I stopped going to any conferences or any conventions that weren't like Vape Fest or not Vape Fest. What the fuck was it called now? VaporCon.
VaporCon.
The community-based ones that had very little vendors and like the whole hotel let you vape wherever you wanted. Like I stopped going to any show that wasn't like that.
They had a fair amount of vendors considering the space size. The problem is the bigger cons started having events near those dates. I remember the last VaporCon I went to, there was another show that weekend.
Plus they closed the sales hall at like 6 p.m. though and did shit like that. Like anything that wasn't a community event, I stopped. So you guys ready for something really horrible and you're all going to give me shit about it?
Can't wait.
I am now at this point pushing the boundaries of how long a coil can last.
Ooh.
I'm that lazy. So I've got to
there's nothing to give you shit there for. I'm not surprised.
On this Narda, I've probably been running this coil consistently for at least 10 months, and it's fine. Okay.
I can't give you too much shit about it because this has still got, I think, my first Robert Key coils.
I was going to say, I'm still running one of his for 6 months now.
Yeah. I've been running this 10 plus months, still working fine.
How often do you clean it?
What?
How often are you cleaning it?
Once a month. I might change the cotton once a month.
What?
All right. Yeah,
so first off,
look, I go 3-4 weeks with my juice often.
Yep. It's abolishment. Abolishment is always vape clean.
Super clean.
Once a month, I fucking clean off the coil. I dry burn it. I run it under water. And
every 2-3 days.
Yeah. There's nothing. That's probably the cleanest, maybe the cleanest thing that.
And ultimately now even our shit's being made by Stash. Like it's even cleaner.
Yeah. Now that's it. See that the thing is, it's forget clean or whatever. Like I still have to rewick about it at least every week because otherwise it's just it. I just got to clean it. Like it just needs to be clean.
That's like. Very few juices I could do a week on because I still rewick every 2 or 3 days. I love that fucking.
I could go along
the boundaries of the laziest. Like I vape now to not smoke. That's literally the only reason I still vape.
Well, think of my atomizer as healthier than your atomizer, and because of this healthy atomizer vape, it's so good that I don't want to change my cotton every week.
But there's no concept to me anymore about like, I used to do the coil thing and got real into it because that was what I replaced like tapping down my packs and shit with.
Yeah, that is just
like I don't really have any of that habit anymore. Like I just pick up the thing and I vape and I change out a battery when I need to change a battery and I'm good to go.
I'm like low main. Like I have one of Robert's coils in here and they stay pretty clean on their own too. So
I mean that's really the next step: buying coils from somebody.
I mean,
I still can't do that.
I do that.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
I have I'm making a fucking fuse clapping, dog. I can't.
I've never made a clapping.
Is this a man who knows?
I reached look by the time I was using Twisted 24s when I met my first coil builder.
Right.
Locally.
Yeah.
And I never had to build a coil.
Wait, was it
now there are many coils.
Yep.
Part of the reason why I quit
the coil. Not only will they sell me the coil, but they'll install it for me and I don't even have to deal with it and I couldn't possibly be happier.
I completely agree. And Rob's actually in chat right now. So thank you, Rob, because I haven't had to build a coil in a long time either.
Rob, I've never had to. I wouldn't know how to. I never took the time to watch a single YouTube video about it. I'm obsessed with juice, and I know that inside and out. But it comes to coil building. If I had to build my own coil, I go right back to Twisted 24.
I need to talk then because part of the reason why I stopped bothering and why I'm pushing this coil is because I fucking hate making parallel coils. Like I can never get it perfect. And like I've got this perfect like 0.52 on the Narda and it's been there for 10 plus months. And like every time I try to do something else, I can't get it perfect 0.52. And now I'm on a mech and I don't want to do it. Like I don't want to deal with it. It's not the same.
Yeah, I can't see one of my parallel 27 coils going 10 months. No.
Well, and that's the thing too is that these guys are who are building coils like Josh said, like a local guy here. I bought some coils from him, and these guys are doing huge strands, and then they cut down, and they're perfect, and they do them over and over and over and over and over and over. So it's like, why not? Throw some cash to somebody.
Sure. A local guy trying to make a buck in the vape industry, I will throw him cash all day.
Dude, M-Turk on Instagram, who I follow, I've been following for a while, and he's been building. So he does like Instagram live shit when he's making his wire and shit and, answering questions, what have you. So the room, or his old room that he was in, he had this long table like in a corner, like against a wall. He got spools of wire, length of the table. He got single file, got it to the ceiling. I don't know how many fucking thousands of feet of wire. And then he did. He fucking smacked them all over. I was hoping he'd do that. I'm like, that's the only thing you could do. Every time he finished a spool, he'd be like, whoop, whoop.
Yeah. And he said he could never see paying $20 for a single set. That's true, but
I've
you don't have to make them.
How long do they last you?
They last you a very long time.
And see, they last you forever. If you got a little wire brush.
Yeah.
And even like the first few re-wickings, like it's so hard to build up shit on them. And if they do, I don't know that I have to look into the finer things of coil structure and what have you, but like gunk doesn't like stick to it and degrade it like it would like a parallel coil. Like I could just spray it off and it should come right off.
Yeah.
And typically those coils are made with like the highest quality Canthal or what have you. Like Rob's coils are made with uses KP wire.
Yeah, KP.
And for the record, I have all of that. I have the Coil Master. I got all that shit, but I can never get that perfect 0.5 on a fucking parallel. I got it one time. I can't get it again. Probably one of the reasons why I went back to the Narda instead of the Narca is because every time I fucking build now, it always ends up at 0.6 or 0.4. 0.6 is too high, 0.4 is too low. So I said, fuck it, I'm going back to my Narda.
Now, Duro does bring up a good point. He said if you're vaping metal, if you've been vaping it that long, you do get some Canthal degradation, even with good quality stuff.
Better than smoking.
It's better than it probably is better than smoking.
You need Canthal in your diet, right? It's part of a healthy, balanced diet. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
watching his figure.
You go into the concept and like you take every possible risk that exists in vaping, including potentially inhaling a little bit of Canthal, and you're probably talking a very minute amount. It's still nothing compared to being a smoker.
Yeah.
So like, I don't really care. I remember when the concern was vaping cotton, and that was going to kill you. Like, I still vape cotton.
Right. It's true. Now, Will brings up an interesting thing. You're talking about wires and stuff. Will's been totally addicted to the InnoWire Claptons. Yeah. I bought some InnoWire that I've got around here somewhere, and it does work. It does work. I don't know if it's anything groundbreaking, but then again, I still haven't really got a good.
What metal is it?
Huh?
What metal is it?
It's stainless 3. Will have to correct me. I think it's 306, but it's hollow. It's like a pipe, a teeny tiny little pipe or whatever.
Like,
so you get like a larger diameter on the outside, but it still ramps up real quick and ramps down real quick.
Cool.
I don't know about all them wires. I'm all into that quartz.
I'm sticking with my vaping donuts.
Yeah. You fucking vaping donuts.
Yo, you were there. You were there at the fucking he was there at the fucking pizza shop when that damn vaping donut blew up and it got stuck in the wall.
It did, yeah, I saw that.
Garbage. Was this before or after Chuff shot batteries out of the Manhattan at the wall?
Before. It was way before. Yeah.
Yeah, those were I think that predated Stash. I remember ordering those from, was it Fat Daddy, I think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yes, Patent Central.
Yeah. Everybody waggled their 510s at him.
Do I even have a...
He was ahead of his time.
They were like half an hour in. We haven't done What Are We Vaping?
That made me remember though. I think the Titan Beta has a Fat Daddy 510.
That's so. First of all, half an hour in, and we have been talking about vaping the whole time. So that's a record.
Maybe not the whole time, but you're right. We haven't done What We're Vaping on.
Straight up, we could back in the day for fucking 3 hours. It's not hard. Okay.
That's the other thing. There was drama back in the day, but the drama was way fucking funnier back then.
Yes. And the thing is, the vaping community was like, this is before it like really like branched out and spread out. So it was like still a pretty decent bubble, you know?
Yeah.
Its own bubble.
It was all lumpy in parts, right? There's some people.
They weren't trying to destroy themselves yet.
You had drama spilling from one venue to the next, and you know, it was fucking all. It was like a sloppy bar fight almost.
I mean, the worst of the drama back then that I remember was all located in my home state at the time, which was Maryland.
And you know what? That scene is still probably toxic as fuck.
It probably is. Yeah, I think it's been classified a toxic waste site.
Like, no, dude, straight up, I stayed in Maryland Vapors for forever. Like, I left it last year.
I left that.
I just stayed in there just for like the last. And then I was like, this is sad that it's still like this.
I will still forget going way back into the guy who used to be an admin there who started his own show specifically to compete with us, though.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Holy shit. It must not
remember that,
huh?
You don't remember J-Lo?
I think I have a picture of him somewhere.
No, I totally remember that now. And considering that I haven't remembered that, like, it must not have gone well, right?
I just remembered it because we were talking about Maryland Vapors.
Well, I knew one of you had a big falling out and they made a new group.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they made a show.
And a show,
yeah. Maryland Vaping Community
Network.
Fantastic. Hey, Foo.
What's that?
What are you vaping on?
I have on my current 3-mod rotation around this Addy, because you know they're all USB charged. They're when this one runs out, I'll be on the Hexane next. But I have the Narta on here with Snowdrift from Yigglesworth Labs. Nice. 256 beta. Thanks.
Limelight Bliss with a RAM board inside. We do have the Haku. Almost said Phenom. It's not the Phenom. It's the Vena bell cap, Omen tip on top, and rail cracker in there. And inside of my RPG billet box, there's an Exocet and a Hellfire whistle tip. I'm still liking that thing on the billet box, and abolishment, of course.
The whistles go woo,
woo, woo, Sean.
So I fixed my gloom. For now.
Hey,
it's working for now. I'm really excited about that. I love this fucking mod. So I have my gloom. I have my Narda and bell cap because I still just like the bell cap more, even though I have the matchy black cap. Omen tip and abolishment. So not much has changed except I fixed my gloom, and I love this mod. Last.
I am not vaping on anything tonight.
Well, you got good reasons probably tonight.
Yeah. And I usually won't vape past. It's been cutting back to noon. I need to get some sleep. I had a New Year's Day kid, so I'm a new
His birthday is
And-
actually January 1st. Don't believe
Yes,
everyone
it-
on Facebook, everybody.
Yes, it is. And so I've been trying to make sure that's why I'll be heading out here in about 5-10 minutes. But but before that, I was still hitting that Orion, and man, it's still hard to find fucking pods for those things.
What is it, the Joule?
You know? Huh? Yeah, what is it?
When there was like a Joule pod shortage?
Yeah.
Think vaping with Vic V1CK. I'm pretty sure he just released a video. They've got a new version of that, new pods.
Actually, Tubi got the new pods.
Okay.
Did he?
Anyway,
What's
Josh,
the difference?
how about you? What are you vaping on, Josh?
I'm vaping on my Paranormal with whatever this completely unfloodable atomizer is. I don't know.
What is that?
Dead Rabbit, maybe? I don't know.
Hey, Dead Rabbit.
Is that what that is?
I don't know, but that is a thing.
It's whatever I can't flood. And I'm vaping the illegal from the FDA Rift by Stash.
Oh,
Ooh.
Never ever be released, but god damn, it's good.
oh yeah. You're gonna have to send me your unreleased shit. I want those B-sides, son. There was a cinnamon one you told me about that you need to send me.
Speaking of vaping, I saw, and this was, I think, a couple months back, but for whatever reason, it popped up in my feed the other day. Did you ever find a squonker?
Yeah, I have a bolt that I like quite a bit.
I have a bolt too. I like it a lot.
You know, I like it, but I've never had a mod that I like as much as this Paranormal. I love the feel of it in my hand. It's heavy, but it's sturdy. It never fails. It kills on the battery life. Even at Vapor Rift at 101 watts, I change my batteries once a day. And I love it. And I found that since I've gotten it, I don't go to anything else at all.
So that Paranormal, that's the Lost Vape non-squonker thing,
Yeah.
right? Dual battery.
166 dual battery.
Right.
And it's I've owned another DNA before that I thought was just okay. And I don't use any of the features. I just got regular coils in there. I just love this device. And I love that it's so reliable and it's built like a tank and I can knock it over and not worry about it. On top of all that, I think it's really beautiful. I love that little top stripe. I guess you can't really see the color, but it's a beautiful.
Okay, I know which one that is. I played with one before.
Yeah, I got a lot of nice mods lately, but I don't take it. It just fits right in my hand. I love it.
Funny enough, I think that's the one Lost Vape mod whose aesthetics that I actually like.
I like the 3-on squonk version too quite a bit. I thought it was cool.
I've never liked a mod. Like I've always been pretty indifferent. Other than my Titans, there's nothing else that I've been particularly loyal to. You know, I just bought whatever the Model Week was from my local shop. You know, when one failed 6 months later, I bought another one because I'm supporting the businesses that support me. So
I feel like I've got maybe 2 mods that I've ever felt strongly about. Maybe 3. The Stay Helix, my Dia, and this Gloom.
yeah, I've never felt
JMFD.
so attached.
Forget about my JMFD.
Yeah.
So 4 mods ever that I felt particularly strongly about, and I've owned a lot.
Yeah.
I'm getting some serious shit in chat, by the way. I will say that the non-squonk version or whatever, this applies more to. I've always said that the Lost Vape stuff, if you can find one that's not like totally garish, they are not expensive and they're built like tanks.
Yeah.
I think that part's really good. The problem is Will's trying to get me to say what I call the Therion BF. I call it the Clunkmaster 5000 because it's really big and it's not well designed, but it is pretty sturdy.
I think this is like the same mod, but maybe it's that I hold it with my pinky tucked underneath. There's something about it. I'll find myself walking around with this mod in my hand for an hour without pulling on it once.
It's not you, man. It's literally the fact that Brian and I have always liked dainty mods.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing. I feel like a regular Lost Vape mod versus their Squonker, they're two very different mods in that, like, my issue with their Squonkers are I don't particularly like how they look, and I don't like the bottle system. I'm not a fan of it. They're mods and they're regular, like, single battery, 2-battery mods. I'd be more likely to consider one of those.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's specifically the Squonker that's poorly designed. The bottle is shit. The way you put the battery in and out behind the bottle is shit. Like, there's a lot of things to not like it, but it's all the Squonk features. If they didn't have that, it's which I think is basically what that is. It's a brilliant mod. I think it's everything else is about it. It's great.
Yeah, I'm delighted with mine, and I thought about buying the Squonker at some point. I'm glad I never did.
Yeah,
you can't kill what that mod did for squonking though, because that was like the first mod that brought squonking to the masses.
Yes and no,
Especially from a DNA perspective.
From a DNA perspective,
yeah, but the Pulse was like the $40-$50, very affordable, decently built option that a lot.
I thought the Therion came out way before the Pulse.
Did it?
I think so.
Pretty sure it did. Like
I'm almost certain that the Therion was the first DNA Squonker that hit the mass market.
Oh, of course.
The Pulse was Mac, but I'm pretty sure the Therion was one of the first mass-produced Squonkers.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Mass-produced and DNA. I'm almost certain it was.
It was the first mass-produced DNA one. I think it was also
it's the only mass-produced DNA Squonker.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't a lot of mass-produced Squonkers, period, before the Therion. So, like...
Will said that there's a Lost Vape Squonk that was a DNA 200.
Yes. Oh, the bot.
Yeah. But, like, it was, like, there wasn't a lot back then, right? Like, it was very different. Like, squonking was expensive.
Yes.
Prohibitively expensive.
Prohibitively expensive. Unless, well, let's not forget about the flask one.
Which one?
The flask.
Yeah. True, the flask.
And that's held its value better than the original.
It was kind of prohibitively expensive and hard to get, and so.
Oh, and it was also kind of bad.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was pretty big.
Don't get me wrong, I did love the flask.
Oh yeah, the flask was great.
That's like the one mod. That's like the 2-battery mod I would maybe still carry.
Yeah, that mod was solid.
Because the SX one was, I mean, it's a light mod, all things considered.
Yeah, it was.
Even with 2 batteries, like, and if it comes with the pocket,
how do you guys all roll with 1 battery? I just can't.
Because I went back to 6 milligram, and I can vape it at 30 watts.
Yeah, that's the big thing is we're not vaping out
with a fat coil. Though I need a fat coil.
I can't. I just can't roll with the
son of a bitch. So I take like 4 or 5 successive pulls. That's how I roll.
But like one of the reasons why I like the Evo Mech is because it's super tiny and it weighs fucking nothing.
I get the attraction to that because if I'm going like to go see a live show or something, I'm all about the Bolt. That's great. All in one device, 1 battery, totally gets me through the show, and I don't need anything else. And I'm good for like 3 hours. But that's it. I couldn't roll all day with that. I need to be rolling with 4 batteries at all times. Whereas with a 2-battery device, even at 100 watts, I can leave the house for like 6 hours comfortably without even a set of spare.
Are you laughing at the same thing I'm laughing at?
Yes. Festy. So you're taking a little bit of a shot. Let's back up a little bit and say why Stash is actually on in case you weren't paying attention to the last show.
Yes.
Why don't we start there before Massey has to bounce out?
Do it.
In case you missed the last show, we are in the process of bringing back the PO lines. We have 4 of them already available that have been tested and vetted and made with Josh's. How did you say it's different chef, same recipe, different chef, different kitchen, right?
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, we when we introduced it to our newsletter, folks, we called it remastered.
Remastered. That's what you said.
And I think that's a great word, because what we're talking about here is really just a matter of the ingredients that I'm allowed to change.
Right.
And those are just the ingredients that I always use. Those are that's our nicotine. And I totally screamed and yelled about this before, but our nicotine is super amazingly clean, and I can't say enough about it. We pay an ungodly amount of money for our nicotine, and it's worth every penny. When I get a bottle, it's only been in that room temperature for the time it took to be express shipped from the place I get it from in this country, even though it's imported from the EU, to my freezer, and then it hits my freezer. But when I open the bottle, it smells, then it looks like spring water. It's super clean, it's awesome. So we use our nicotine, and we use RVG, which again I just think it's the best on the market. Yeah, we pay a lot more for our nicotine. RVG is RVG. We pay more for it because we insist on buying it by the gallon. I would never expose 55 gallons worth of VG to the Florida humidity, even with the dehumidifiers and all that we constantly run in the lab. It's not a good idea. So,
because VG is hygroscopic.
VG is hygroscopic, and water, while not inherently bad for VG, is very, very bad for nicotine because, of course, it's got oxygen in it. Oxygen, yeah. So all around, we do what we can to make sure that when the product reaches you, it's seen as little air as humanly possible. And that's why we think it's just spectacular. So the flavors you can buy from us, we've got the first 4 out now, and that's Abolishment, way up here, Limeade and Bedding, and what am I missing?
Pissed.
Pissed. Yeah, get pissed.
Yeah, Get Pissed, right. Which is, I can't believe I'm missing it because that's really, really popular.
I believe it.
It's a really good one.
Honestly, dude, like I was on the abolishment train for like a bit, and then when I threw Pissed in my K-Phone 5, I was like,
yeah,
this is the best.
I've had people that have been asking me for a mint for a long time, and I was like, oh, you're gonna love this. I can't wait to give you guys Abolishment. And like I give them that and Pissed, and I get a lot that say the Abolishment's amazing. I need to follow that, and a lot more. I expected more huge Abolishment fans, and I find that everybody's a fan of both. And some people are just all about this. They're like, I want more of that right away.
I still love Abolishment, but like basically, like Pissed is like Joe Montana, and Abolishment's like Steve Young.
We talked about this a bit last week, but or not last week, a couple of weeks ago. But when it came time, when the unfortunate things that happened, and Amanda went out of business, like Josh was the only person who made sense.
Yeah.
So we went and talked to Josh, given our relationship with him, and said, "Hey, Josh, how do you feel about remastering our shit and selling it through you and going through him?" And I can speak for probably the 4 of us. Like we're incredibly happy with what we got.
Yeah.
At this point.
Absolutely.
So one of our viewers in here, Josh, has been asking about Mass T.
Yeah, it's okay. The other 4 are coming. It's between labels and bottles and new flavors. It's all a big process. So to do all 8 at once was just too much.
Yeah, especially before the holidays and all that.
Yeah,
as soon as possible too.
Yeah, we're finally settling down. Things are slowly returning to normal. I'm sure anyone who knows us knows that Stash is a family-run company, and as a family, we have kids, and the kids aren't back at school yet, so things are still a little hectic. And when things settle down, the next 4 are coming. I would expect, we haven't even talked about this, but just to throw a date out there, end of February at the latest. The rest will be coming, perhaps before then. I know a lot of people are asking about 12. No, we don't make 12. I can't sell 12. I won't sell anything I won't taste, and I won't taste 12. I can't stomach it. I can't handle it. And I really don't know how much tweaking I would need to do, and I can't do any tweaking. So
So that goes back to Festy's comment of understanding why you can't do 12 because you only have 100 watts.
I truth be told, I vape 1.5 milligram. I have a very hard time testing batches of 6 when I'm called to do so.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't do it. It's too much for me, and to do it with a bunch of new juices on top of all the vaping I have to do already, it's just too much.
So what was your testing process like? Because, even something like Abolishment, which I've historically only ever vaped, never really higher than 30 watt, it's spot on around 30 watts. So like, do you test it all over the range or?
I do, to a degree. I have addies that I keep around for when I want to taste something at a mouth to lung wattage. I never hit anything like that. Even my Bolt has I can't remember the name of the addy. I think it's called a Mayan, which has a pretty good size airflow on it for a tiny little bottom feeder. I do vape it all over the place, but I think almost any juice that tastes good at 80 to 100 watts is going to taste pretty good at 30 watts, assuming you've got enough flavor in there in the first place.
It's just such a different flavor set that I've seen come out at those 2 wattages.
And it is. And it's, I don't want to say it's accidental, but because that's not the best word for it, but I couldn't adjust the flavor profile at 30 watts without changing the profile at 100 watts. But if something doesn't taste at least good at both of those wattages, then it's not ready for sale. Mm-hmm. It's not a product that can be stolen. It has to taste good all over the spectrum.
It can taste different, right?
But
not bad.
Yeah, exactly. And I think all of our juices, and not even ours, probably most juices at this point taste different at 30 watts versus 100, with the exception of juices that rely entirely on sweetener and strawberry or something, for example. That's just going to taste like strawberry. Yeah. So no matter where you vape it at. But anything that's got any sort of nuance to it, any kind of dimension, even something as simple as 2 contrasting flavors of, kiwi and strawberry, you're going to get a different variation of ratio, a different ratio is what we're seeing at any different percentage, because those 2 flavors will cook differently, so to speak. They'll set off different flavonoids at different temperatures.
And I just remember going through that testing like Watt and then a Jam, because those were the only 2 that I ever vaped close to 100 watts because I was the one fucking testing them.
Yeah.
And like they changed pretty drastically.
They do. Sometimes in a good way, and sometimes it's, man, I wish it tasted more like this at this wattage, but it's hard to sacrifice one of those things for the other.
Yeah.
I think Blue Sky is a great example. Blue Sky tastes drastically different. Mm-hmm. And at lower wattage, you get kind of that cakier, deeper note. And at higher wattage, that lemon really punches through. And where you prefer it, that's up to you. Like we used to give out steeping recommendations with our orders. And at the end of the day, I said, this is stupid, because if you like it fresh, that's great. If you like it 6 weeks old, that's great too.
Yeah.
Where I like it is totally unimportant. And I think that's the thing about, our existing line and the new line too. When I say new to us, your line is no matter where you put it, you end up with a really great flavor. Man, Way Up Here is a great example of different flavors punching through at different wattages. And what you guys are getting at that mouth to lung is a vastly different experience than what I'm getting, and I think that's cool. I like to taste, more of that bright note. So I like that better at 85, 90 watts.
So is it kind of, and hold on. So first, Mass, go ahead.
I gotta bounce. I'll see you guys later.
See you, buddy.
Take care, bro.
Have a good one.
Was it interesting? Like, did we take you outside of your comfort zone a little bit mixing these up? Because I know the profiles are quite a bit different.
Totally.
Especially the men, right?
I felt more uncomfortable knowing that I couldn't do very much with them, and that I felt a little bit like my hands were tied.
Sure.
And that being said, I'm so pleased with the way they ended up coming out nevertheless. But that was my biggest fear, is that these were going to be things that were not going to be easily reparable.
Right.
Because, I mean, you guys know, I mean, I talked about it on I think the second time I was on the show. I'm crazy about my profiles and really anal about my flavor blends, and I go sometimes a little too intense in trying to get something exactly where I want it. Blue Sky is a great example. Valhalla is a great example where, you know, getting those acids to balance just right with the creamy notes and the cakey notes and the berry note is, you know, I look back on some of those days. Those were crazy days. Those were hard times. And iteration number 68, 69, 70, 71, and God, it's not right yet. And what is wrong?
I remember years ago baiting some stash flavors, and like I will say this to the people who are watching. I have never met a man more like anal retentive about his mix and getting the mix right. Like, or even, and this is, you know, this is probably your greatest strength and weakness at the same time. Somebody who beats himself up more over getting it perfect.
To me, I get it, because, you know, that's not who I am in my everyday life. And the only two things I care that much about are juice and food. And I'm really crazy about both of them, and everything has to be perfect. And you know, my wife will be the first one to tell you how crazy I am over dinner, that if I don't have my own chicken stock and they don't carry the brand that I want, I'm just, oh my God, it's the end of the world.
Make your own, man.
End of the world. Yeah, that's right.
We were pretty crazy going through the first iterations of making the 8 juices the first time around.
Yeah.
We got nothing on you on that, man.
It's stressful though, and I think that was the biggest fear I had, is walking in with somebody else's recipes and, oh my God, I hope this works. And it was more than just, it was more than just, not only were they not my recipes, they weren't even written the way I write a recipe, which is entirely by weight. I write it just like it's like if I were making a cake recipe or a bread recipe. Everything's done by weight. You don't cook in cups and, you know, quarter cups and half cups. You cook by weight. If you're making a cake, it's 120 grams of flour, and that's what you need.
Oh my God, dude, Josh.
And when I walked into to these recipes and it's all by volume, I got really stressed out. Volume changes. You know, if volume is not the same all of the time, and as the weather changes, so does the amount of liquid that makes up 10 milliliters versus 10 grams is the same every single time. And
at least on Earth.
I was worried about that, but I was most worried about going into someone else's stuff and making it fit my expectations. And man, I feel like we're the luckiest guys in the world, because it really worked out. It really came together, and oh my God,
you definitely lived up to our expectations.
They're great flavors. I think I'm super happy. I keep forgetting there's other people in the room.
Dude, I was just happy when you took on the burden of, you know, I was just very happy that it was just, I was just like, this would be all right, you know?
It's a stressful thing for everybody, but man, we had fun doing it, and I'm so happy.
It was funny because I'm like, I hate that I'm fit. That I was feeling as relaxed as I am, because knowing you, I'm like, Josh is probably throwing shit right now. But
it's crazy.
That's the process, right?
Yeah, and I can't wait to release the next 4. They're coming very, very soon, and they're all going to be very, very good.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited.
For me, the ones that I'm looking forward to the most is Food's Gold. I can't wait to see what you're doing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be relatively transparent here. The one that I'm the most excited about, I think, is going to be in a jam, because that's the one that I never really felt great about. So I'm interested to see how Josh's process is going to work into this, because and that was my like signature fucking juice from that.
Is in a jam going to be like
Great.
It'd be like your girl that like lost 20 pounds and she fit into that dress. You'd be like, yo, what's up?
That's what I'm hoping for.
Here's the way I see that. I'm excited that you guys are excited for that one, because I'm really excited for that one, because that recipe came to me in really bad shape, and it took me a long time to understand exactly what was going on with the recipe.
Mm-hmm.
But once I did, it all kind of clicked, and what I can't wait for everybody to try that one, because I'm really excited about that.
And the other one is Mass Tea, because that one when we first did that one, I thought it was awesome.
We got screwed on that one,
and then we got screwed on it. The flavoring company stopped making one of the key things in there, and the one that came back, it was all right, but it wasn't as good as the original one.
So, yeah. That being said, like my favorite way to have it. So the way I wanted a VapeMats tea was in a tank. It was just, for me, it was a wee bit too harsh in the tank, but in a dripper, perfectly fine.
Yeah,
it was smooth, and I honestly, out of all of our juices, the cloudiest.
So, as a side note, just to comment from Darrow's perspective, we had a wonderful relationship with Amanda. It was great.
Oh yeah,
we were under such a strict deadline. In a jam was in a jam, and like there was nothing we could have done about Mass Tea. So nothing's changing in the recipe, but the way Stash and Josh mixes is different.
Yeah, and
that's part that I'm excited about.
I should also clarify that when I say the recipes were a mess, they weren't a mess because Amanda was a mess. If I handed somebody else copies of my recipes and asked them to reproduce them as they're written, you'd have some really messed up stuff on your hands.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's the same concept. You can look at a recipe to cook something. It doesn't mean you can make it as good as the guy who cooked it.
You have to understand, and some of these ingredients were tailored after receiving. Like it took me a little while to get what she had done to some of these things, but I gotta say, she did right. It's a great recipe. It just needed for me to understand what was going on, and I think.
Well, you think about it, like
the new ones that are coming. I like them all, but in a jam.
Oh, I'm so excited!
Hey,
I don't know if you can see it.
IAJ.
Yeah, IAJ. Yeah, it's on my. It's here. I like this a lot.
Good. So.
We will never have a bad word to say about Amanda or Music City Vape Sauce. Ever.
No, absolutely not. What your metaphor a minute ago, Sean, was I have my grandmother's recipe for gumbo.
Yep.
And I can cook it, and it's good, but it's not like her gumbo. It's just not the same, right?
Nope.
Not the same thing.
There are just certain things that we do that a company her size could never have done. It's a matter of we're really, really small, and I have things that I've done that I would never share with another vendor, and nobody shared with me, that I had to figure out. And it's methods of mixing the juice, to ensure that it sounds like such a simple thing, to ensure that the PG based flavoring gets evenly distributed throughout the VG based flavoring. But if you do that really quickly, you end up whipping the juice and putting air into it, and you've now made that nicotine age immediately. You've done it all by yourself. Just by shaking that bottle, you're done. So we have things that we do that are different than other companies could ever do. You couldn't do the things we do on a large scale, and it's part of the reason that Stash as a company has stayed the same size. We turn down business regularly, because it's better for our product in the end to just say, this is the maximum output. This is what we can do. And this is the way we want to continue doing things and making things, rather than see the quality of the overall product diminish and to sell something I'm not proud of. Look, I'm proud of everything we sell, and your juice included. If I wasn't proud of it, our name wouldn't be on it.
And when you make something, all you got's your name, right?
Yeah, it just, It's the way it goes.
Or your goofy faces. One of the
yeah, goofy faces. Side note, Josh, too. Just take a peek at side chat real quick for me, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about the different VG. It's apparent. Even me just vaping it, to me, the base it's not the same VG.
Mm-mm. It's all right. Totally not the same VG.
No.
All right. Not only is it not the same VG, I have no idea what the PG-VG ratio was of your previous product. I don't carry PG.
Yeah.
I don't have it in stock. It doesn't exist in my lab. There is none. I have no interest in it. I don't see it adding anything to any juice ever. If I understand some vapors want it that way, I guess it's no secret. Every juice that we make because I wanted it. It's a juice I wanted to make, a flavor I was craving at any particular moment, and
that makes me feel all special, man.
It should. I mean, look, I love you guys. You know, I'm sure. I don't know if these guys know. I mean, I've known you guys almost as long as I've been vaping.
Yeah,
it's a long time. You know, I would do just about anything for you guys, but I wouldn't put my name on a product.
Really cool. I need to bury a body, actually.
Hey man, there's some good Okefenokee area.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. Don't stress. I got everything the same for that.
But that's the same general aspect. Like, we came to you because we knew that our names could fit up there well. Like, not just because we've known you forever, but because we trusted, our juice's fate in your hands, so to speak.
You got the Death Star plans, my man.
All right.
So what do you think, by the way?
What
side chat comment?
What's that?
The side chat comment that I left.
Which one? Oh, wait. I didn't see yours. Hang on. Where?
He means in the hangout.
The hangout.
Oh, I can't see that. Man.
Thing, man. You put it on the thing and go boom. Side chat.
Right, I see the thing. Hang on. Oh, of course. By all means.
Cool.
All right, hang on. I gotta put my little man to bed, but give me 1 sec.
Yeah, do it. We'll cover some news while you're gone.
No. Yeah, you do that. I'll create something.
We'll hide you out, and then we'll come when you get back. We'll bring you back.
No. Hang on. Just give me 1 sec. I'm gonna create it right now.
Okay.
But you do your thing with the news.
Yeah.
So one thing that happened over the break that we didn't get to talk about. Let's get this link up here.
Like, did any of us get vape mail?
I didn't get vape mail, but I do have some things to show that happened over the weekends or over the Christmas break. So right after Christmas, I got a call. Well, I got a message first, and then I got a call from a certain Australian gentleman, and his name's Steven, and he runs Haku. He owns Haku. I'm getting the pictures up right now. So he said, can we talk about something? I'm sure. He said, I've got a thing that I want to do. And it is not only going to help some people in general with a particular item, with a particular mod, but also help Dayan from Limelight Mechanics. I said, really? And he shows me this. Boonk.
Oh, I love that thing.
Yes. So what this is Haku is coming out with a billet box atomizer. So as much as y'all know, because I've been using it for quite some time at this point, the Phenom and then the Vena later is made by this particular company. One of the things I love about him in general is his post and his deck. They work really, really well. So he's incorporated some of those things into a very clever billet box atomizer. And the reason it links up with Limelight is because, of course, Limelight is coming out with a 5050 is what he calls it. It's a tiny little 18350 RAM board powered tiny little mod with a Boro in it. So a billet box tank. So this is going to be able to obviously go in that or in a billet box because it's the same thing. So he and I talked for quite some time about the features of it, like what we wanted to see,
what I thought was probably appropriate for the market, and he just was picking my brain, which is great because I love to do it and love to help. And I am pretty stoked about this thing. So as you guys know, I've been a longtime fan of the Exoset, which is a Hellfire atomizer for the billet box. The problem with that is every time I talk about it, it's almost worse than the where'd my thing go? Let me reapply my webcam settings. There you go. It's almost worse than talking about the Narda, because as difficult to get a hold of as a Narda has been, and Sean and I have been using them forever, the Hellfire Exoset is worse. And the reason is because they only made 2 runs of it, and then they never made another one. So if you couldn't find any of these couple hundred addies that are floating around, you just can't get them. And it sucks because it really is a fantastic atomizer for the friggin' billet box. Definitely hands down my favorite. You just can't get a hold of them. So I'm excited about this, not only because it's really trick, and he's got a lot of really, really cool things that kind of go into and around it and how it works, which I don't think we can talk about yet. But you're going to be able to get a hold of it because it's a Haku thing. And one of the things that they do really well is just release them. I mean, list. And it's really hard to not get one if you really wanted one. So that, what was that? Yeah, exactly. Shane Plumes talk about shit you can't have, and that's true. I hate it though. I honestly do. I really, as much as Sean and I were just total Narda addicts forever, it always made me feel bad that I had to say that because it wasn't readily available for everybody unless you happen to be, in the groups and early enough, and all that kind of stuff. It was annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about it. I think this is going to be really, really cool. I'm really excited about the timeline because I'm pretty sure he said it's coming quickly, because when we first talked about this, it was like the next day or two. All of a sudden, he just couldn't stand it any longer, and he released these deck picks. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny because he really is. He's stoked about it, and he wants to get it out there. And help.
I'm stoked about it, and it kind of makes me want to get another billet box.
Yeah.
And then I can hate it for all the reasons I hated it anyway. Because I never hated the billet box because I didn't like the Hellfire Addy. I hated the billet box because I hated fucking cleaning it.
The cleaning and re-wicking is just obnoxious.
But I'm still mildly interested in fucking getting one.
Yeah, for sure. So I will obviously be letting you guys know as soon as I can get a hold of one, because I told him, X1 as soon as one's available, I want one on its way to Texas.
Yeah, get me on the fucking list. I'm not big time. I said, get me on the list. I'm not big time anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I'll holler at you.
All it takes is 45 fucking seconds. Is fucking swing your weight around and be like, I'm on Plumes of Hazard.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Oh, you're still a plume.
Okay, but I use my brother's teacher ID to get discounts at Banana Republic, but I'm not actually my brother, am I? Exactly.
So I don't have vape mail, but I did fix my fucking gloom. And I said this in chat and nobody answered me, so I'm going to say it here because we were talking about coils earlier. If anybody fucking wants to build me some coils, I'll buy them. Just send me a message. We can talk about what I like.
I'm sure you could ask Robert really nicely. I'm sure he would make you a coil that you could use for the next year or two.
Which would be great because I have a feeling I am probably getting towards the end of this one and it's saddening me.
Yeah, I bet.
Nothing's wrong. I don't really know what happened to my gloom. I tore it down to clean it and then it stopped working. And then I just kind of set it to the side because I was going to get the new chip in it, and then I just never got around to it. And the other night I was thinking, like, maybe I should go get a fucking Bolt V3 or something because I'm sick of this Evo mech and my Bolt's old. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to fucking tear apart my gloom. And I did, and I tore it apart, and I looked at everything, and I'm like, fuck, hey, it's working now. That's working.
So just to finish up the whole Haku thing, it's one of the things I jotted down here to talk about is I know because I've seen some really detailed pictures of the deck and how it's all going to work, and we talked through all this stuff. He's paid a lot of attention to the airflow, so I think it's going to make a lot of people really happy. And there's also a bunch of little trick things and stuff it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to showing it off to you guys as soon as I get a hold of one. What was the other thing I was going to mention? Oh yeah, something that happened just Saturday. I had my Bliss on my lap and got out of my car. Slam on the concrete, sadly enough. But one of the things that made me really happy was, so it came down on the corner here, And one of the good things about having a synthetic mod is it got banged pretty good when it hit the concrete pretty hard. So it's kind of rough around the outside. So I just went out to my shop and I found some 1500 emery paper.
So I specifically don't keep my mod in my lap while I'm driving for that reason.
Yes.
I assume your car does not have a handle, like a bottom in the handle for the door. That's where my mod sits when I drive.
So I actually still have a cup holder. Oh shit, my mind just went totally blank. What's Alon's company's name? J-Wraps.
Yeah.
I've still got a cup holder thing from J-Wraps that I bought a million years ago with the Plumes logo and everything on it. And of all the 4 slots that it's got on there, one of them is a little tiny square for a box mod, and these fit in there perfectly. So this is normally where it goes. The problem was I had taken it out of there and I was jacking with something in the passenger seat, and I'd set my mod down for a second in my lap. That's the only reason why it went crazy, because for the same reason I don't ever do that.
I need to see if I still have one of those or if they're still available. Because when I had the Outback, I had like this perfect little thing like right in the door side to store.
Yeah, in the handle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my mod said.
The BMW doesn't have that.
Right.
So I actually have to put it in the cup holder. So I just kind of set it in the cup holder right now. I don't have anything that I can put it in.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost certain that it was the Hannah slot. If you had to go buy another one, I'm pretty sure the Hannah slot was the square one, or it's rectangular, but it's small, and it's just big enough that the thing fits in there perfectly. So that is fixed, which is awesome. Let's see.
Josh has an announcement to make if he wants to make it.
Oh, cool. Is he back? He is back.
Am I back? Yes. All right. So the coupon code POSHOW, POHSHOW, all one word.
I'll put it in chat.
Yeah, perfect.
That'll pull you 15% off any order from Stash if you want to try out the new PO and give it a check.
And it's good until Thursday at midnight.
Perfect.
Really, Friday morning at midnight. Thursday at 11:59 p.m.
And we're only gonna share it like live on this show. We're not gonna share it anywhere else.
Right.
Just for people who watch, which is not many anymore.
It's several people, dozens of us.
Dozens
of us. That's
Sorry,
awesome.
Rob. Rob's kicking himself for just putting in a Stash order.
Man, that is rough. Oh my God. I will make sure you get a sample of something of mine too.
Ooh, well done, Rob. Well done, Rob.
Cool.
Let's see. What was the other thing I was gonna? Oh, there's Mooch news, and Massey's not here to play the music, but I will.
I gotta run.
All right, thank you, Josh. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I will see everybody later. Website is stasheliquids.com. I see it in chat. All right. If you guys need anything from me, feel free to message me. You guys can find me on Facebook. You can hit the contact us link on the website, whatever you need.
He's also in the Plumes group.
He is also in the Plumes group. Feel free to tag.
I am also in the Plumes group. Yes.
Fish record backwards. Josh will appear.
Tag him in your reviews. We all like to see them.
Oh, show.
Did you hear my fish joke? I hope you heard my fish joke.
I didn't hear your fist.
I said play your fish record backwards. Josh will appear. He's a big fish fan.
He is, and dead.
Yes,
good old dead. All right, this is directly relevant to many of us here in this chat because, well, not only is it Mooch, the VTC 5A has been my recommendation for unregulated mods for quite some time because it's a really good battery, and it seems like the Murata guys bought out a lot of Sony's operations, is what he's saying. So they have a Murata VTC 5A, and he's rating this as identical in performance. And
I say it like it's anime. Murata. Murata.
Yes, Hakuna Murata.
I don't think of that one, Dad.
That's a good show name.
Yeah, I got outdadded by an actual dad.
Yeah, you did.
That's a good
I
show
thought
name.
this was really good. So, we've had a lot of problems getting legit Sonys for a while because they don't, they took a hard stance a while back that it's not supposed to be used in vaping and blah, 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 blah. But I don't know if that's going to be any different for this Murata. But if you start seeing these guys around from reputable sources, it looks like you can kind of rest assured, at least for now, that they are straight up VTC 5As, even though it's not Sony, but it's Murata. Yeah, I mean, he's got nothing but high praise for these guys. So I wanted to make sure to mention that because that is it's a really good sell. And I wanted to let everybody know that that they don't have to freak out that it's from Murata and not Sony.
No, Murata's a reputable company.
I don't know anything about them.
I'm trying to think. Like, I'm blanking on why I know that company specifically. Fuck. Do they make tools? No, that's Makita. They make good tools.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to know. No, I know the name Murata. I'm just trying to.
In the anti-theft blue. Yeah.
How do I know them?
So that is some more news that I had.
Oh, speaking of tools, I actually got tool mail because I haven't had vape mail and whatever, but I got one.
Yeah, you did.
Boom. I decided to buy myself a nice screwdriver just for the fuck of it because I needed one. So
wait a minute, hold on. It still says I'm presenting to everybody, but I thought I stopped.
Oh shit, no.
You're not. I don't see
I needed to stop presenting you.
Oh, good. Now you can show off your tool.
I forgot that I presented you for that, but yeah. I bought a Wera.
Nice. What?
when you got to flex on the haters. Yeah, it holds like 6 bits. Came with like 3 slotted, 3 Phillips. It's got an extender, ting, and then
sometimes you need that extra couple inches. It's good.
It's got a really nice chuck, like a magnetized one. I got it for $30. A little steeper than I was like hoping to spend. At the same time, I was like looking at a Snap-on one, and I'm like, I can't fucking justify that. So this one's nice. I love it. Comfortable. It works. It's green. I like green. So boom.
Rob's saying Illumination Supply has got the VD6 Muratas, but he doesn't think they've got the 5As yet, and that's fine. I mean, if they still got Sony ones, that's okay. 18650 battery store is legit. IMRbatteries.com and lithium ion, I think it's lionwholesale.com is the other one that Mooch says is good. I've ordered from all of them. I have not had a problem yet.
So how often do billet boxes even go for sale these days?
I don't know. They started going funky a few months ago, I think. I heard. I
actually have a couple in stock right now, 4 to be exact.
That's when it started going funky, is when they started having stock outside as Saturday morning.
But basically when they stopped selling that as shit, right?
Yeah, I don't know that I'm crazy about the ones that they have. I mean, they're not bad.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I'm crazy about them because, I kind of want a red one.
I've got a red one.
You have a red one? I didn't know you had a red one. Are you trying to get rid of your red one?
No, because I'm gonna need it when I get this out of in. But at some point, I can shoot it up to you, sure.
Well, I mean, I want to buy one. If I'm gonna buy that Addy, I'm gonna need a billet box.
You will need a billet box, that's true. But I need to do some A/B testing before I send it to you.
I mean, I can wait and buy it after you're done, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I kind of like the red one.
The red one is very nice. Just like all the billet boxes, it looks way better in person than it does in pictures.
Yeah. I mean, I always like the purple one too, but I kind of like the red one.
The RPG is still my favorite, but the red one it's almost like a maroon. It's really, I thought it was going to be like fire engine, like super bright.
I love that maroon color. It's my favorite.
But it's a little darker than that. It looks really good. Really, really good.
You have an RPG with the Mother of Pearl button. And Will says it's meh. I like the Mother of Pearl and Abalone buttons. Personally, I like the Abalone button more than the Mother of Pearl.
I'm not a baloney guy myself.
It's
my Abalone has the first name.
Is BILETBOX?
Dude, it's the acoustic guitar thing. I like that button.
The thing is though, is you're gonna have to get a JJ or a JMK tips button anyway. So
I agree with Will, Sean. I'm a guitar guy, but I like that mother of pearl over like a dark wood or something. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
I know what you mean. I don't disagree with you.
Because with the kind of color scheme that billet box work, like my silver the silver V3 I have works because the mother of pearl is just like slightly lighter than the silver.
See, I don't mind the mother of pearl on black.
Yeah, that's
even the RPG probably wouldn't look that bad. The RPG would probably it doesn't look as good though.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Anyway, that's enough. We can talk about that more later.
Yeah, what do they call it? The Powa or Pua or something? I forget. God.
Right. So what else? Anything else, or are we done?
Let's see what else I got. I think it just had. Oh, one thing is this is kind of short, but it was useful to point out. I do point these out on occasion. I think this is a worthy one because of the time of year that we're in, I guess you could say. Let's share this out. Boop, boop. So every now and then you get to see posts like this. This one in particular popped up, and the reason I mentioned it because we got the New Year's and we got people wanting to quit smoking. You know, that's a thing people do with the whole goals and stuff for the year. This one in particular, this guy was talking about. He went from a pack-a-day smoker to 0 overnight thanks to this subreddit and the advice of a certain Scottish gentleman in a shed, which sounds a lot.
What the fuck is
that? Sounds a lot like my story, which I like. So he slowly weaned himself up to 0 nic, and then he quit vaping entirely a couple years ago, and he's now, he smoked for 30 years, and now he's not smoking or vaping anything, and he's happy about that, and he's bouncing out, which is always nice. It's always good to see. We see so much negative stuff these days about, conspiracies, and some of which have some, kernels of truth in there, and bad shit with the inaccurate summaries of studies that are even being adopted by our government sometimes. There's a lot of bad stuff out there, but you also see stuff like this, and you also got personal stories that people have told you that how vaping saved their lives, or stories like mine and ours, really, of how vaping let them just totally quit smoking, at least out of compulsion. I think that's really, really cool. And every now and then it's good to remember that there are that are good. Backside of the button, not sure.
I agree with that.
Well, a piece of my childhood, actually, not vaping related. A piece of my childhood actually passed away during our break. Mean Gene Okerlund. Yeah, that one sucked because he's a funny fucking guy outside of wrestling. If he'd be an occasional guest on a sports radio show I listened to, and holy shit, the mouth on that guy. He's talking about drinking Bloody Marys at noon and shit. Just old people shit. But yeah, I'm sure some of you in chat watched wrestling for a long time. I grew up on that shit, so. Fucking Gene. He lived his 76. He lived a pretty full life. So, damn. Anyway, I'm tired as fuck, Angsty.
Yeah, no, I don't. That's fine.
It's been a long fucking day.
Been a long day. Whew. We have had a good show.
I was happy to have Josh. I got so hyped. I was like,
yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to get some stashy stuff in too, because I haven't put an order in with him for a while, and of course I need to do that now that we've got some of our stuff up there.
Yep.
Festy's talking about some buttons are machined with a sharp point on the backside. That's not good. I don't think you should put a button in the billet box with a sharp point on the backside. That's crazy. You know what? Somebody asked. Oh crap! I just remembered something. Oh crap. I think it's already scrolled past. Somebody was asking about the vape shell earlier, and I totally forgot to answer the question.
Somebody said they're getting a vape shell is get pissed good at 30 watts, and I said yes.
Oh, okay. There you go. The vape shell is a fine alternative if that's the atomizer you can track down. I do think that one is very good compared to many of them out there, for sure. I don't particularly care for how it's wicked, because it's wicked kind of like a K-Fun. which is okay, but not as
it's actually kind of cool.
Not as consistent as the Exocet style, in my opinion. But
and it takes up all the space in the tank.
It does, not as bad as some, but it does take up a reasonable amount. It is a little boxy. But when you want that, the other side of this, and this is the same with the Insider, both of those go really far down into the tank, so it helps you use all of the juice in there, which is really good. And if you're wanting the K-Fun style wicking, kind of got to put it in a little box, a little bit. Boop, 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 boop. I think that's it. Oh, there was one thing I did see. There was an article on the updates of Medicare this year, and apparently they're going to start covering NRTs in Medicare. Oh. So if you ever, I think the thing that I saw, I think it was on ACR. If you ever want to know whether or not Big Pharma is involved in the old FDA and our government in general, yeah. So now they'll pay for NRTs, but if you're trying to do harm reduction in any other way, no. Especially like life insurance. I checked into some of my life insurance, and because I vape, I might as well have been smoking the last 6 years.
So they're still considering it vaping as. Yep.
If you got,
I can't blame them. I wouldn't want to pay for a smoke mod for somebody.
Well, it's more that some places offer like discounts if you're not a smoker.
That's what I mean about the life insurance, right? Yeah. So the amount of life insurance that I have is like a half or a quarter of what it could be now because I haven't touched a cigarette in 6 years. Yeah. But the fact that I vape 3 milligram, I might as well be a chain smoker. It's the exact same coverage and price. It sucks.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Well, then I guess see you later, everybody.
Yeah. Okay,
just kind of like going on now.
But no, it was the last piece of news that I had. That's all. I just want to get that last piece out. That way I don't have to talk about it next week. Because, it's
There's so much news that you.
Bye.